For those of you who aren't familiar with Teledyne LeCroy, we're going to give you a little background on who we are, what we do, and how we work with the community for the Memory Fabric Forum, as well as CXL. With us today, myself, Nick Kriczsky, I'm VP of Products and Services for the Storage and Networking Group for Teledyne LeCroy. And I also manage what we call Austin Labs. Austin Labs is the services organization for Teledyne LeCroy, where we provide third-party testing, training, and general services around automation for better validating products. Also, along with me, Gorden Getty. He's our product manager, senior staff product manager for our PCIe, NVMe, and CXL products. He's going to walk us through our different products, the capabilities of those, and what they're able to do and help you do better in your jobs as you're starting to bring on these new memory fabric technologies like CXL. So Teledyne LeCroy.
So it looks like, Nick, the slides are not progressing. I don't know if you're in a second screen mode or I just see your PowerPoint.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's
maybe the presenter view or something like that.
Stop that. Stop sharing. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna change our sharing and share screen 3. And does that look any better?
Can you put it into slideshow mode?
Yep. And that looks like, let me see.
Yeah, it's not showing slideshow mode. You may have to turn off presenter mode.
And that still does not do it there? That's not slideshow. Okay.
How about at the bottom, underneath, there's another button for slideshow.
Yeah, bottom right.
Yeah, you're almost there.
Over to the right.
One more.
That one. Yeah, that one.
Still not doing it.
If you go to slideshow and then there's a menu, I think there's a presenter mode thing there that you can turn off so it doesn't try and think it's 2 screens.
Let me try sharing. Let's try.
Got it.
There we go. All right. Well, sorry about that, guys. We'll kind of pick up where we left off. So I made the quick introductions. Myself and Gorden Getty here are presenting, and we'll kind of move on from there. Teledyne LeCroy. So about Teledyne LeCroy, for those of you who don't have a history of working with us, we offer a wide array of different types of test tools for testing serial data applications. That could be protocol analyzers, different types of test appliances for traffic generation, oscilloscopes, electronic test and measurement equipment, and the list kind of goes on for the full range of coverage. Gorden and I kind of represent the protocol side of the business, which covers anything from PCIe, NVMe, CXL, Ethernet, Fibre Channel, SAS, SATA, and moves into different technologies like video technologies and wireless technologies. Also, as part of Teledyne LeCroy, we provide expert level testing services and training services. This is what we talk about when we talk about Austin Labs. We provide third-party testing, we provide in-depth protocol training, and I'll kind of touch on those as we go a little bit further into some of these slides. I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to Gorden and let him start telling you about some of the tools of the trade.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today, we'll talk about the tools that we have available for CXL test and measurement. Is obviously largely based on the PCI Express product line that we had, with the common physical layer between PCI Express and CXL. Enables us to use the same hardware test tools for protocol analyzers, or exercisers. And then we also have the full physical layer oscilloscope test equipment for doing the physical layer testing. So we'll cover a little bit about the analyzer and exerciser products, the compliance test scripts that we have, and also about our validation platform. So it's a sort of higher layer in the protocol stack tester for CXL. And then I'll hand it back to Nick for some more information on the testing services, where you can get help with this testing and pre-compliance, and also the training that we have on offer. So can move to the next slide. So yeah, we have the total solution for CXL 1.1, 2.0, 3.0, 3.1 testing in the Summit M616 product. So this product is an analyzer and exerciser product. It's the next in the very long line of PCI Express protocol analyzer and exerciser tools that we've had at Teledyne LeCroy since way back in the PCI Express 1.0 days. So for CXL, all our PCI Express 5.0 or Gen 5 equipment can be used for CXL also. So for protocol analyzers, we have the T516 and the M616 that support link widths up to by 16. If you're not actually working on by 16 widths, we also have options for by 4 and by 8. And also these boxes can be licensed differently, so just to tailor it to the needs that you have. So when you're using the analyzer, you would connect that with an interposer, so it can work as a standalone analyzer where you can look at the link between a system and an endpoint. Or you can use it as a combination analyzer and exerciser. So where the Summit M616 can behave as the root complex or the host, or it can behave as the endpoint. So this allows you to do full CXL traffic generation, host emulation, and device emulation. The main thing about an exerciser is it allows you to inject errors, and it allows you to generate very specific traffic in a closed environment, independent of any software, BIOS, operating systems. It also allows us to create compliance suites, which can be a very consistent and independent way of validating the behavior of CXL designs. And these tools are used extensively by PCI-SIG, by NVMe organization, and CXL organization for the official compliance testing. So the M616 is the latest one, which supports up to CXL 3.1. Currently, we also have the Summit T516 and Z516, which has been used for CXL. And then we have a Summit Z58, which we use for PCI Express. But all the products will also support CXL and PCI Express. And just at the bottom there, I have some pictures of how you would hook up a device. So on the bottom left, we have what we call the host emulator platform. So that basically gives you a slot to plug into for an endpoint device to be able to test an endpoint device against the exerciser. And then next one over is the device emulator card. So this is where that would behave like an endpoint device. And then on the right-hand side, we have what we call our test appliances. So these are a system designed for testing CXL devices specifically. It's the latest in a line of testers that we previously had for NVMe up till now, and other technologies in the past, but this is the latest, which is designed for testing CXL.mem devices specifically. So move on to the next slide. So why is an exerciser important? So an exerciser is something that can configure and behave like a root complex or an endpoint. So obviously it has to support all the data rates from 2.5, and with the M616 supports all the way up to 64 gigatransfers per second. So PCI Express 6.0 data rates, which is required for CXL 3.0, 3.1. So these tools, the exerciser is used for all compliance testing for PCI Express 3, 4, 5, 6, and CXL 1.1, 2, and 3. Obviously, 3.0 testing is not commenced yet, but 2.0 is in the process of getting towards changing from FYI status to official status. That'll probably happen sometime later this year. Our designs support all link widths that are available by 1 by 2 by 8, by 1 by 2 by 4 by 8, and by 16 actually. And then we have different form factor connectivity. So the card you see here is actually in the CHEM form factor, but we also support the SFFTA 1002 based devices, so EDSFF, E1.L, S, E3, and so on, in addition to M.2 and U.2. I think for CXL, what we've seen so far is generally the E3 form factor, with the prototypes tending to be on CHEM form factor. So we can also do the low-level link training and state machine testing, getting the link into CXL mode, and then different transitions within that LTSSM. and error cases. That's the key with the exerciser. You can generate cases that you wouldn't typically see in a real system, but you can validate the behavior of the devices that you're connected to ensure that they behave properly. So the exerciser supports error injection at the logical file layer, the data link layer, and the transaction layer. And there's autonomous traffic generation and script-based traffic generation. So you can basically define exactly what you want it to do. You can take trace captures from the analyzer and can convert them into generation scripts. You can also capture the config space of other devices and make the exerciser emulate those devices. And it's very easy to use. We have automated test scripts available. And we also have a software package called Link Expert, which basically combines all the hardware that we have for analyzer and exerciser and creates a solution for compliance testing. And we use that across all the NVMe, PCIe, CXL, and other technologies as well. And we support all the sub-protocol types for CXL on this. We'll move to the next slide. So what does it look like? So Protocol Analyzer is going to basically give you a chronological view of what's happening on the link. So you basically put a probe in the middle of the link, and it looks for CXL traffic and decodes it and displays it. And like you can see there on the picture on the left, if there's something wrong with the traffic, the analyzer is going to highlight that and show that. So it's a perfect debug tool for anybody that's working on any protocol higher than the logical file layer. So it's not designed as an electrical test tool. That's why you would use an oscilloscope. But the protocol analyzer is your complete visibility into what's happening on the communication between the two devices. In CXL in particular, we can also break that down into the flit mode or the flit view. So how the traffic is structured on the link. And we have very clear software views for those. We can move on to the next slide, Nick. Compliance testing, we've been working very closely with the CXL consortium and basically helped to define what the compliance testing would be for CXL devices. So we have a long history of working on compliance tests, especially for PCI Express. So it was only natural that we would also do the same for CXL. So we took what was defined in the CXL specification and created software packages that work along with our test hardware, whether it be the Z516, T516 products or the M616 product, to create compliance tests, which are used officially by the consortium for certification purposes. So if you want to get your device on the integrators list for CXL, currently that's only for CXL 1.1. But moving forward, as I said, later this year, we'll be starting to do official testing for 2.0 as well. But you basically have to pass these tests. These will be run at CXL compliance workshops. The last one was just a couple of weeks ago. Expect the next one to be in May of this year. So next slide. And next one, I will hand this back to Nick.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Gordon. Yeah, so as we kind of go further down into, the testing that's available, we talk about some of the products that we have available that Gordon mentioned. Additionally, we've got a product from our Oakgate team that provides CXL validation testing capabilities. This is part of our arsenal of different tools that we have. It allows for failure debug and analysis, traffic generation, testing of security flows, SM bus and PCIe testing, as well as power control. Now, we've been talking a lot about the different tools that we have available to us. We're kind of going into the services piece now, where all these things can be done at our labs. So we've got labs in multiple locations across the US and across the world that allow us to be able to provide testing services using many of the tools that we're talking about today. So as you're looking for ways to get your products validated, your products tested in different environments, we provide that through a third-party test and analysis program. That's what we call Austin Labs, including what Gordon was talking about for pre-compliance testing. When you go to a workshop, you're there with a limited amount of time in order to be able to test your devices to be put on the integrators list. So as part of that, we offer pre-compliance testing in order to validate your device ahead of time to give you the confidence when you go into these workshops in order to do your testing. But additionally, we provide complete failure debug and analysis on any testing that we do. We provide traces. We provide full root cause of any problems that we come across. We also go as far as custom script creation, and that's to help you also identify and create tests that you want to run in your own lab. We can help develop those scripts and provide those scripts to you as part of your testing overview. Outsourced third-party testing, as I mentioned, we're experts in testing when it comes to protocol. We also get involved at the electrical and signal analysis side of things, do debug and analysis, which, on this it runs at the PCIe signaling layers. We have the capabilities to do that type of testing, performance analysis, interoperability, and consulting. And this is anything from prototype through power on, bring up, and validation, all the way through compliance and then into regression testing. We do this across many different types of platforms, CXL being one of the protocols that we cover, but many of the different protocols from server storage, networking devices, we provide testing services for. On the training side, this is an area where, we help our customers become experts in the protocol. We offer training both in different types of classes, whether they're public or private classes, where you're getting a chance to learn from industry experts. These are in-depth protocol classes. Most of them are about 4 days in length, interactive course content, and it helps you become a subject matter expert. As I mentioned, we now have new classes for PCIe 6.0 as well as CXL. Additionally, on the protocol training for becoming a CXL expert, I mentioned that these are instructor-led classes. Each class has hands-on labs where you get a good walkthrough of what the specifications look like, but at the same time, you get to see what things look like in real life. Get a chance to look at live traces and go through what is actually happening and how it correlates back to the specification. What will you learn when you go to these classes? We certainly teach about the different versions of CXL, the different device types, the CXL architecture, the PCIe transfer to CXL mode, IDE features, and we do everything staying up to date with the latest specifications for CXL. So, in general, Teledyne LeCroy Austin Labs provides a wide array of solutions, testing, training, automation for many of the different technologies that you work with for PCIe, CXL, NVMe, and into some of the requirements now for OCP. The training side of things, besides the protocol classes for PCIe and CXL, we also offer a lot of the different fabric classes for Ethernet and Fibre Channel, Rocky, NVMe over TCP. And then, as I mentioned a little earlier, the complete automation solutions for helping you do your own testing. And that could be taking advantage of the automation that Gordon talked about with Link Expert and creating new test cases in order to fully validate your CXL environment. That really covers, the slides that we have today. Teledyne LeCroy is a full validation solution center for CXL, testing, training, and automation. I put a list of links down at the bottom right-hand corner of the presentation for when you receive this as a follow-up. That'll give you links to the protocol tools that Gordon talked about, the validation tools for CXL in the OCAPE platform, our testing services, and our training services. So if you need any additional information, those links will certainly get you to those, to the details, and the contact information for both Gordon and I are on the second slide of this presentation.